in, we check your fluids, and we tell you that your transmission fluid is dirty. You all can see that it's a nice pretty red. At over 3-5 years, they'll become very dark, like our pants and our shoes. They become dark, and it's time for a service on them. So when they tell you that, usually if you ask to see the fluid, they'll show it to you. But when it's new and it's been flushed, it comes out red or pink, okay? Speaking of pink things, this is our engine coolant. Toyota uses either a red or a pink coolant. A lot of times, if you have developed a coolant leak, you'll see a fluid leak underneath, or you may not see it. But if you underneath the hood, checking your oil, your transmission fluid, you'll see a little pink stripe right here. What it is a dye in the antifreeze, and wherever there's a leak or whatever, it'll have a pink stain. So it is a really good indicator. It helps us for diagnostic procedures, and it helps you, the consumer, to see where your coolant leak is. Our washer fluid level is off to the side. It's got a nice little cap on it, stated washer fluid level. Everybody's always jump-started their car at one point, and a lot of times what happens is people jump them backwards. The best way to remember your battery is, what's the positive is red, and the negative is just usually it's black or open. But your cables, your jumper cables, or your little jump box that you can buy at the local hardware stores, or the Chanel's and stuff like that, the jump boxes or the cables are actually coated with a red or black. Just keep the red to the red, the black to the black. We don't ever touch them together. Okay?
I have a question about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Most batteries are under the hood.
Yes.
My battery happens to be in my back seat.
What kind of vehicle do you have?
I have an Automobile.
Okay.
My battery is in the back under the seat.
It is. But being an Oldsmobile, I'm really not sure where underneath the hood there are some terminals. But like our Priuses, the batteries are not physically up here. They're actually in the rear of the vehicle. And usually there's a junction block, this little cover right here. Usually what you can do is you can open this little cover up, and there's probably a little terminal that has a red cover. That would be your positive, okay? And then you would find any ground. A ground could be the stud on your shock tower, anywhere. Any piece of metal that's on your vehicle is a ground, okay? So you just need to find the red terminal, usually under the hood somewhere. And it will be marked with a plus. We all live in New England, and we know how rodents are. Rodents love to chew on our wire harnesses, don't they, Lance? So we can't see the engine here because it's covered by this pretty little cover right here. What they love to do is get underneath there and chew up this pretty white pad and make a nest right on the top here and chew on our wires, and the next thing we know, we have check engine lights coming on, or it just doesn't run. So, what's that? Oh, it smells horribly because we usually have to clean them. So, if you find that rodents are starting to get underneath your car, and you can see because they have the little droppings everywhere, what we suggest doing, which helps to deter them, because there's nothing to stop them, is little dryer sheets. You know, the Bounty or any off-brand Snuggie, whatever, the little dryer sheets. Go underneath the hood and tie a couple around, okay? They don't like the smell of it. It helps to deter them. If they're bound and determined to get them, they're going to get it. But it just helps to deter them, okay?
And then how often should you change them?
You know, I've seen
Irwin
cars
and
come in
ask
with
them to
them
change
that
your
look like
dryer
they've been there for
sheets.
years. I would, maybe once a year or something like that, or maybe in the fall and in the spring. You know, I'm not sure when they breed or if they just continuously breed. I have no idea. They just need a warm home, and usually on the top of that, underneath that cover and on the top of that engine, it's nice and warm for them. It happens a lot. We see it a lot. So we have our coolant reservoir. We have our washer fluid that anybody can fill. And I heard somebody ask something about the color of it. I believe Rain-X uses an orange. which is a, I think it's good for below, like 50 below or some crazy number like that. It doesn't matter which one you use. Sometimes if you mix them together though, the blue and the orange turns brown and looks like mud. It's going to mix together, it's just going to be ugly, but it will work.
They now have them made with alcohol. Is that a good thing? Or
They are all have alcohol.
Oh, they?
Yes,
okay.
they do.
So
Yep.
they just advertise it with more alcohol?
Yes, probably a winter blend, because this way here it doesn't freeze. If you choose to change your own air filter, we have our little air filter box right over here, and you can reach down here and snap a couple things off. That's what your air filter looks like. They're fairly easy to change. The problem with it, if you choose to change it yourself, which you can, if you don't lock the box down all the way, when you go to accelerate, it sucks air and it's loud, and then you say, all of a sudden you bring your car in, my car sounds like a race car going down the road every time I accelerate. Usually the box is not put back in place properly. So
Where would you buy that if you didn't want to bring it to a garage?
you can buy these anywhere, but feel that? That's cloth. That's a piece of cloth, okay? You can buy an aftermarket one. Anybody else care to look at it? It's just cloth. And you can buy an aftermarket one that's paper, but it's not as efficient. So if you want to save $1 or $2, you may, but that's your quality right there. You may spend an extra $2, $3, maybe even $5. I have no idea, I'm not a parts guy. But this will last much longer than the paper one. And it's designed for our engines. So I'm just going to leave that there.
How often should you change that?
Those are about every 15,000 miles. Basically, because we live in New England, we have our springtime, it's dusty out there, and all the dirt, all the sand that we put on the roads for the wintertime so we can get around. They get dirty fairly quick. If they're not too bad, you can knock the dirt out and put them back. But again, we're not here to sell you anything. We want to show you where it's at if you choose to check it yourself and or replace it. And we have our transmission with the T, right, ladies, and our oil for the O. There is a pollen filter inside the dash, and I'll show you how to get to it. It's a little time consuming, but what happens is most consumers, when they try to get to them, they break the glove box. And sometimes, depending on how you break the glove box, you may need a new dash because there's some certain pins that if you just pull them off, of course everything's plastic these days. What happened to the good old days, right? But it's inside. We do check them every oil change. So that's about all I want to show you on that. If there's any questions, what I want to show.
Back to batteries. I have a 2009 Toyota Alpha, and I thought I read someplace that you jumping it, from another part to another part.
Yeah.
You have to disconnect something from the battery.
No. The whole idea is if you do disconnect it, it's not going to start. Okay. What we have here, I have 3 cars in a row. I have a brand new 2013 Camry. I have, I believe, a 2010, it looks like another Camry or a Corolla, and there's a Ford product down here. We have a 2013, a 2010, and a 10-year-old vehicle. What I want to show you is what this road salt, how it destroys our undercarriage. And sometimes we live in New England, and sometimes our maintenance costs are a little more expensive, and the only reason it is because of what the road salt and everything do to our vehicles, and how they deteriorate the metal, they destroy our brake pads, it makes the calipers, which is part of the brake system, drag, so they wear out quicker. So if you would, here's the 2013, and you can see how nice and pretty and clean. They are safe to walk under. Well, some people choose not to, but it's very clean under here. See, here's your exhaust system. It's all nice and clean and shiny. This is your subframe in your engine. But you can see how clean it is.
Yeah, but this hasn't been on the road yet.
No, it's brand new. It's brand new. I believe it has about 40 miles on it, maybe, or 4 miles. Maybe I didn't read the odometer properly. And this is a vehicle that's just barely 2 years old. And you can see underneath it, all the pretty bolts and everything that we had on that one are already rusting. We have our subframes that are starting to rust. The exhaust, you can just in comparison see the exhaust, and you can have some type of idea what our road salt does to us. Now if we lived, I actually lived in Florida for 4 or 5 years, and our cars stayed like that, okay, other than the exhaust from getting hot, and they were easy to take apart. This is corrosion, and it happens due to the road salt. There's nothing we can do about it.
Why do they not make car parts that, I mean, in this day and age with our technology,
Well,
why do they not make all these things you were talking about so that this doesn't happen? I would think that they would have the technology.
Well, we have to use salt to melt. We have to have salt to melt the snow and the ice in the road so we can get from point A to point B. I don't know of any material that can, withstand salt.
How effective is it under the car wash, going to a car wash?
It's effective. It helps. It definitely helps. So this is a car that's 2.5 years old. Now look at this car, ladies. This car is almost 10 years old. Look what that road salt has done to this car.
But these people never washed. My car was 13 years old. It's better than this.
Yeah. But did you ever look underneath it?
Yeah, it was up a lot,
Yeah.
but I made sure I hosed it out, and
Yeah.
they said that it looked much better than a normal 13-year-old
Yeah.
car.
It helps to do the undercarriage,
Yeah.
without a doubt. But I mean, this is an extreme case, and I was a little surprised when I put it up in the air myself because I just grabbed 3 cars off the lot. These weren't chosen by myself or for any particular reason, but this car is very extreme. But you can see the holes, what it's done.
Would this pass inspection?
Absolutely not. No, that's a structural component.
We went to another dealer and they sold us a car. And when I brought it to VIP, they said it shouldn't have passed inspection.
Yeah.
I brought it back and they didn't want them. But I told them they would want to and they redid the whole thing.
Yes, yeah. Well, you have to stick to your guns.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a safety issue.
I
But
told them they sold me unfit car.
the whole idea that I wanted to show you is you have a brand new car versus 10 years old, and when you bring it to our shop or somebody else's shop and they tell you that you need some repairs and you say, oh my God, how come it's so much labor? The reason that the labor increases sometimes is due to the rust. Because if you were to try to change some of the components on this, you may not be able to get them off. You may just have to, cut them off and replace them with all the hardware. So nothing's inexpensive these days, so I just want you, sometimes it's a shock when you all come to the shop, and especially with brakes. We wear brakes out all the time, and the reason being is because of the road salt.
Can I ask you a quick,
Sure.
easy, dumb question? The car that I have, I've only, as I said, only had it for a couple of weeks. There's no way that I can get my finger in and turn to check my pressure, my tire pressure. It's like this, it's really hard and it's in far all
What kind
the
of car
time.
do you have?
It's the 2007 Toyota RAV.
Oh, the RAV.
I can't, I don't know how I'm going to get in there and get those off. And
The little valve cover?
yes, am
Yeah.
I just being dumb and I need
No,
I
it's
need a
not that
tool?
you don't know.
My other car, I just could undo them and
Yeah,
check
it
it.
just depends on the valve stem length, and does it have wheel covers on it? Or are they aluminum wheels? Are they aluminum or steel? I'm sure they're silver, right?
Yes, they're
Okay.
silver.
Well, it probably has wheel covers on them, and the outside wheel cover will pop off.
Oh, I'm supposed to take that off?
You don't have to take it off. Here's a prime example here. This has a steel wheel, but with a wheel cover. And what happens is,
Yeah, it did last when I did.
yeah, so, of course, it's probably that the wheel covers
Garage wash and what
design or something. You may have to pop these off. These will come off fairly easy. So you can actually get behind it with a little pride with a screwdriver, or you can send the husband out and say,
Get
hey.
it back on.
So, but here's the thing. When you come to service here at Irwin's, we check all that tire pressures and everything for you. And wherever you change your oil, if you choose not to do it yourself or you choose to go elsewhere, I'm sure that they do that. I would like to think that they do that. Yeah. Yes, I'm sure they do. And it's a RAV, so I'm pretty sure you have a tire light on that. So if you had a tire that was actually not inflated properly, there would be a little symbol that would come in on the dash. And again, just go through your little owner's manual and
I
you'd
did,
see.
I read that whole thing.
Did you really? A lot of people have not.
I sat in that car for 2 hours.
Wow. You're a good reader, because sometimes it takes me 2 hours just to find what I'm looking for.
I wasn't looking for anything, I was just reading.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, if anybody has any particular questions about their vehicle, when you come in for service, ask for one of the techs to go sit with you in the car and spend 15 minutes. And it's like knowledge that, you know, some particular thing that you're asking about, you know, we know exactly what you're talking about. We can just tell you how to check it or what it's for. So it's all about product knowledge, and that's why we're here tonight. So we know where our filters are and how to check our fluids. We see a vehicle that is 10 years old versus a vehicle that is brand new, and what our road salt does. So, isn't that right? They are.
So just a little bit of a background. Wayne has, how long have you been with Irwin's now, Wayne?
I think next month will be 27 years.
Wow. You were just 15 then, right?
I wish I was.
Anyways, Wayne is our senior Toyota technician, does a very fine job for us. He also does teach at the Lithgonia Tech
Yes,
as
I
well
do.
in the automobile division. So we don't, you know, we have very valuable employee here. And
Yes, I do. I teach 2 nights a week. Yeah.
so he was free for us tonight. So thank you very much for that.